Hey, we're live. Want to introduce my friends and Judd. By the way, you can jump on my Facebook page and share this out if you want on your phone. But I want to introduce everybody to my buddy Judd Burdon, not Burton, right?
Not Burdon. Yeah.
He's not a burden. So listen, dude. You know, we were chatting in Facebook Messenger, and you're down on the island of Anguilla. And ironically, you have a drywall background behind you, and I have an island. There's just something ironic about that.
Yeah, I've got a nasty good concrete wall behind me. I mean, I'm actually in my son's room, my 5-year-old's room right now, because
nice.
There's a door. My office is in the gym overlooking, the ocean with St. Martin in the distance. But with the children home, we'd be having 2 children on my lap right now, and of course, doing a little bit of their singing on the mic.
Wow, dude. Yeah. You know what's crazy is a long time ago. I mean, I'll bet you it's been 20 plus years, man. I was on a cruise, a 10-day cruise. And we stopped at the island of St. Martin, and I literally almost bought a house. Like, those the timeshare houses, or it was but it was a freestanding house condo thing. I don't know. Anyway, so they were like, oh my God, the pressure, man. I thought I was gonna have to beat this dude up. He wouldn't give me my driver's license back.
The only thing he was giving you was the rum punches, right? The nonstop rum punch.
Yeah. I loved it. Well, I used to drink. I don't drink anymore, but back then, you're walking around, there's little carts, they're serving, I think Corona actually, but or little, I forget what it was, but yeah, they had it was like $1 a beer or something. I was like, this is incredible. And so that was the reason I wanted to move there. But I guess my brain got the better part of me, thank God. So, but hey, dude, you're down there in Anguilla, and what's the population of Anguilla?
So there's about 15,000 people here, and it's
how many?
15,000 people.
15,
like 15000. Yeah, 15,000 people. We're 13 miles long by 2 miles wide at the widest point. It's wow. It's a lot of people when they hear Anguilla, they hear Angola. We're not Africa. We're definitely the British West Indies. So from a positioning point on a map, geographically, we're just north of St. Martin by a few miles.
Wow.
And then we're east of Puerto Rico by about a 55-minute flight on a twin turboprop. And so we are the corner of the number 7, so to speak. We are the most northern Antilles island. So
really?
If you come up the Caribbean chain, you hit Anguilla, you can't go any more north and hit other islands. You have to go west, and then you go through the BVIs and then the USVIs, and then you hit Puerto Rico, and then of course go through to the
So you've been down in Anguilla though for I didn't realize how long. You've been down there a while.
Half my life, man. I've been down here 17 years. I mean, I've got three sons. My eldest son, Justin, is 20 years old. He works in Western Canada now, but he was 2 years old when we first came down here, when I sold my business in Montreal, Canada, and moved down here. I was 23 years old when I moved down. Yeah.
Oh, you're from Canada?
I'm a Montrealer. Yes.
Wow.
Sir.
Do you speak French?
Oui, je parle français très bien, oui.
My wife speaks fluent French. I don't at all. So what in the world made you decide to I mean, so your son would have been what, 3?
Yeah, just turning 3. That's right. Yeah. That's
why?
My first son. Why? Yeah, it's a good question. So basically, I was in the asphalt maintenance business. I owned a company,
Yeah.
Imperial Asphalt Maintenance, and we used to seal coat driveways and do crack repair and pothole repair, and started that company when I was 18 years old, and essentially grew that company really quickly to multiple trucks on the road and had sales staff. And, we had our office administrative staff, and
Yeah.
came to a point where I got home one night and I walked into the kitchen. It was like 10:30 at night, and I was just covered in sealer and black gold, as we called it. And my dinner was sitting in the microwave with a plastic thing on top of it. And my 1-year-old son at that time was Justin at that time. He's in bed sleeping, hadn't seen him in 3 or 4 days. And I kind of had this reflection moment of considering how to reinvent myself a little bit. I was not feeling whole. And so at that moment, I ended up calling my father and ended up meeting with my father the next day and said, "Hey, listen, I'm 20, at that time I was 22, and I don't want to be 50 years old doing the same thing and missing my children's life and growing up. And I enjoy what I do, but I feel like my mission is something different. And what I wanted to achieve in my life was different than a day-to-day service-based business. It's
Wow.
for some, just for myself, I felt like I was growing out of that. I had more to do than that. Something was telling me that.
Wow.
And so dad said, "Hey, well, listen, why don't you sell the business?" And I said, "Well, how the hell do I do that?" What's up? What's up, Andrew?
What's up, Andrew?
So he said, "Well, here's some things that you can consider when you're selling your business. We got to go through an evaluation. There's assets in the company, and you've got a bunch of equipment, you've got your client base." So we worked through it and ended up selling the business just about a year later. I'll remember the walk with my father, and looking at him with this confidence that even if I would have sold it for half or a quarter of what I actually ended up selling it for, would it have been worth it? I asked myself that now, right? And it's
Wow.
absolutely. I would have probably given it away.
Wow.
To be frank, and so at that point, it was like, do I want to stay in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, with all this heavy tax that I'm paying up there? At that point, it was like 55% tax. It was just crazy, right?
Jeez.
And we were just getting hammered. I felt like I was working constantly to fix potholes on the highways that I wasn't really fixing. It was that my tax money that was paying, or supposed to be paying for it, but the potholes weren't getting fixed.
Wow.
The government bathrooms were getting fixed quite well, though. Anyway,
Wow.
the bottom line was I decided that I was going to take the leap with our 2.5-year-old Justin, and we were going to move down to the Caribbean. Dad had been doing some banking down here in Anguilla, and of course spoke very highly about Anguilla, the people here and the beautiful environment that we're in.
Yeah.
So I got on an airplane and with the family and came down, and we said, we'll do 2 months down here and see how it goes. Well, fell in love pretty quickly, man. And
You're like, never went back.
Never went back, but there was a point where, you get down here and you say, okay, you sold your company, you're 23 years old. I have enough money here. I have enough money to live in a little tent for a long time, but living on the beach in a villa and the lifestyle that I was wanting to live for the rest of our life was just not possible with the money that we had sold the company for. So that's when I got into e-commerce. Man, there's been a crazy adventure. The last 20 years of my life, 17 to 20 years of my life has been just nuts, man. Just awesome. Yeah.
That's insane. So you're wow. So what's the pulse of the people of Anguilla right now, man? I mean, we both, I think it's been overstated. There's a global pandemic happening. Is there anybody on the island that's been diagnosed with the coronavirus?
No, thank goodness. But let's face it. This island, it depends on tourism.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We don't have any exports here. There's no real natural resources, so to speak. We are we rely on tourism to keep this place alive.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll say this, and it's really important, is that when you lock down the ports and you lock down air travel, it's for the best interest of people. At this point, it's not about country. This is about humanity. It's about people. It's about, right. It's
Yeah.
the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But when that happens, of course, everybody cancels their Airbnbs, everybody cancels their hotel reservations, their car rentals. The domino effect takes place,
Right.
similar to what would happen in Las Vegas, right? Or is happening in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, you know, you've got, of course, this service-based business for tourism that, you know, you've got 4,000 people now, so to speak, or in around that are going to be, I mean, everybody's going to deal with the challenge, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that depended on their jobs at hotels, chefs, it's everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so right now, I think that it's the first time that I remember in 40 years. Right now, this is the first situation where I think everybody is on the same. When I say everybody, the majority are on the same level of what I call uncertainty. There's fog.
Oh, yeah.
And when you deal with politics, you've got political powers in all the different countries.
Yeah.
Which you can have different feelings. If you're in the United States, it's a feeling, right?
Yep.
Depending on what side you're on, so to speak. In Anguilla, you have the feeling associated with politics here, which are very different than the United States. But
Sure.
with this pandemic, everybody's kind of on this same frequency. Nobody really knows how long it's going to take for this thing to come over the hump.
No.
But we can hope. And in the meantime, what we can do is really work our asses off for self-improvement, physical, mental, and to truly help as many people that we possibly can. And that I just want to express my gratitude. And I've done this just earlier here on Messenger. I want to express my gratitude to you for constantly sharing with everybody, man. You're an incredible individual, and I'll call you an angel, brother. So
thank you, dude. I appreciate you saying that. I feel like, you know, there's I mean, just as we're sitting here, I have Apple News things popping off, and there's not one positive thing popping up in these news reports. And look, man, life is difficult. There's a book called The Road Less Traveled, written by M. Scott Peck. And the very first sentence in that book, the very first 3 words are, life is difficult. And then he goes on to say that, you know, look, life is like people walking around thinking, I should have it easier than this. I deserve better. This is terrible. And I look at what life is attacking me. And Judd is attacking me, and this and that. And these, you know, like, dude, once you accept that life is difficult, life becomes much easier to transcend the difficulties. And so, you know, I think that we need to spread some joy and hope and positivity. I feel like it's my duty and responsibility to do that as a human. So,
man, that's exactly, you know, that's what we're sharing too. Our family is trying to share and broadcast as well, is that as humans, we do have a responsibility.
Yeah.
And that responsibility is the gift that we have been truly given, which is the gift of giving. And and if you're giving shit, if you're giving negativity, and that's truly what you're giving, it's because you're plugged into the wrong things, right?
Amen.
It's the energy, it's input and output, folks. Like that is, in my opinion, it's input, output. Law of attraction is a huge thing in our lives.
Yep.
And I just, you know, if you're plugged into news channels, I spoke about this on one of my recent lives, is that if you're plugged into news channels that are feeding you crap all the time with the big red banners and the you know, the coronavirus looks like a big demon dragon, and, you know, I mean, yes, it's terrible. I'm fully super compassionate for all those who are ill and dealing with this with their family members and so on. But the reality of it is this: we know that's going on. Now that we all know that the whole globe understands that there is a virus, and I think that with government and so on taking the necessary actions to lock things down for a short period of time, is the right decision. But it doesn't mean that we have to continuously listen to this stuff on repeat that's continuously brainwashing us into believing what we're getting fed. Brian Hess said something the other day, which is, you don't have to believe everything that you think.
That's right. It's true, man. I mean, and again, it's you know, I've had some unbelievable conversations with some very high level people, and some live streams with those folks too. And you know, look, I think that I truly believe in the law of attraction. I believe in the placebo effect, meaning the body will follow what the mind believes. I mean, there are people showing up in hospitals and urgent cares that are so convinced that they have the coronavirus that they have the actual symptoms of it, but they don't have the coronavirus. And because we as a human race, we are so freaking programmed to be negative or look for the negative. Like, you know, since the days of Walter Cronkite, which you're probably too young to remember, but the days of Walter Cronkite on the air back when I was a kid, you know, and then Dan Rather and all these newscasters and these people that are like, you know, their job in the news media is to find negativity and exploit it as much as possible to raise their ratings. That's it. Because what happens when their ratings go up? Their rate card goes up. Their rates go 100%. Up for selling advertising.
100%. You know, it's incredible if you think of, you know, the emotional playboard that we have. Let's think of this circuit board that we all carry, right? Like,
yeah,
let's pretend this is a circuit board. Our mind is a circuit board. From the time that we're born into this world, there are emotional footprints that take place from the time that we're born.
Yeah.
Till where we are right now, having this discussion while everybody's watching this, and anybody watching this video after this live. These emotional footprints have left tattoos on our thinking, on our circuit board.
Yeah.
And as these emotional footprints take place, it could be as simple as your mother saying that a spider will poison you and you will die when you're young. And
right.
The majority of people are going to be scared of spiders who have that kind of emotional footprint because they're trained and taught that way, right?
Yep.
And the same thing with water. You know, in Anguilla, we deal with a lot of children who are very, very frightened of the water. And it's because the parents don't like to swim in the ocean because they will tell their children growing up that you will drown, you will drown, you will drown. So they're scared of water.
People raised there, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's, you know, they're raised by the ocean, which is deep, dark, bad, full of sharks, blah, blah, blah. But that's what's being broadcast in some cases, but yet it's not that way. The truth is that the water is the underwater world is absolutely brilliant. It is a world that if anybody scuba dives watching this, you know what it's like, snorkeling and so on. The ocean is one of the most beautiful things that you can experience in your whole life.
Yeah.
And you can always put a life vest on, or you could put floaties on, and what we call, you know, a salvation vest that will essentially protect you from drowning, where you don't have to worry about that. But nobody talks about that.
Right.
And so it's like right now in what we're dealing with, where is our life preserver?
Right.
Where is it that based upon our emotional footprints growing up, are we either tucked into a fetal position where we can't get up and actually do the things that are important, which is focus on our health, focus on our family, focus on sharing with other people exactly what that energy surrounds. And if you can do those things, then what you're doing is you're throwing life vests to everybody saying, hey, listen, everybody, this blue ocean is absolutely, we've got a beautiful world we're in right now. Yes, there's a pandemic, but I'll tell you what, I stand out on my deck here and I look at the horizon and I see this beautiful sun and I watch the moon come up and I watch this go on in this world and this life that we have 1 in 4 trillion 400 trillion chances of being here, or whatever the stat is.
Yeah. 400 trillion.
That's what it is, more or less. Right.
Yeah.
And so why curl up in a fetal position for longer than a few minutes here? It's time to get up and for people to share this message. Like these lives that you do need to get shared. They can't just be watched.
Right.
And I can tell you, if they are shared properly, we can impact the world very quickly, much faster than this dark virus that is spreading right now, right? And this is what's needed, in my opinion, right now, is share the love, share the energy, the positivity, and enjoy this world, this life that we have, rather than letting something overrun you for the rest of the duration of this spike and hump.
You know, you just made me think of I forget who, it may have been a Wayne Dyer book, but who's one of my favorite authors, but there's a story about, the crime rate in Washington, DC is one of the worst in the entire world. I mean, it's really, really bad. And so I believe it was the mayor or somebody in Washington said, we've tried everything and, it's just not working. The crime rate keeps going up. And so they brought in a group of like monks or something that, and I'm talking like 100 of them to meditate. It was an experiment that they were doing. So they literally sat and meditated and sent love out all over Washington, DC. They did this for 24 hours or something. Literally overnight, the crime rate dropped to 50% of what it was. The answer is inside of us, and it's called love. And if we can just put out love, kindness, joy, happiness, not all this hatred and backbiting, backstabbing, and like just put out love and kindness. I'm not saying go out and start hugging again. I hug my kids, man. I'm not stopping. Like whatever. They haven't left, neither have I. So I think we're safe. But like love's the answer, man. Love is the answer.
And the only way for that to radiate is by sharing it. That's, in our world today, you're watching our world. It's been this situation has truly, again, compassion for all the people who are sick, compassion for the people who have passed.
Yeah.
But there is life that's taking place here going forward.
Yep.
Condolences to the people and the families who have lost loved ones. But life for all of us does not stop. We are not dead.
Right.
And what we need to do now is reflect on this situation to realize what truly are the most important things to us.
Right.
As a human being. I mean, in Venice, I don't know if you've seen what's going on in Venice right now with the dolphins that are out there and so on, but they haven't seen porpoises there in years and years, and now there's dolphins. Like, I mean, listen,
wow.
and I'm not saying for Venice to shut down. What I'm saying here is at the end of the day, we have all of a sudden realized how small this world is. It's a big darn planet.
It is.
It's a small world.
Yep.
It's a real small world. And if we can share that love that you're just saying right there, love. And I mean, this has been preached for a long time, but I'm hoping that a lot of people start realizing and reflecting.
Yeah.
They go to brush their teeth in the mirror before bed, that they look deep into their eyes and truly can say, I've done my best to spread love today.
Yep.
And if you haven't, and you have stuff to work on, maybe write down those things that you need to work on. and communicate with somebody who you feel might be a mentor or somebody that you can help, to help reflect on yourself, have a conversation, ask, right? I mean, nothing, the only stupid question is the one, dumb question is the one unasked.
That's
and
right.
right now, if you're feeling alone, ask some questions to people that you think might be able to help you. And you can certainly reach out to me anytime.
Me
I'm
too.
happy to ask, happy to answer any questions, give you a little bit of perspective. But
yeah,
man, Ken, one of the things I wanted to share, I think, which is really important too, is fear and what's holding you back as it relates to fear.
yeah,
And an exercise that we like to do, we recently had a retreat here in Anguilla. An exercise that we did was, if you take a blank piece of paper and you just draw a stick man or woman on that piece of paper, and you essentially look at that stick man or woman as yourself on that piece of paper, and you take a red marker and you take a green marker.
yeah.
The red marker is the lines, the plug outlets that you're essentially, the extension cords coming off you that are plugged into the negative and dark things in your life that because we know what we're plugged into that is dark. Okay.
Right.
Red.
Right.
How many of those lines do you draw on that sketch that you do on a white piece of paper? And then do the same thing with green, which are the positive ones.
Right.
And then what I want you to do is take a look at, do you have more red lines than green lines? And if you have more red lines than green lines, chances are that your day is steered more towards dark and red than it is the green.
Yep.
And I think what I'm suggesting here is identify the shit that you're plugged into and remove those one at a time. If your social media feed is a lot of negative, it's probably because you have a lot of red plugs plugged in right now. You should start blocking the people that are feeding you the red negative energy.
Yep.
And replace those with green, right?
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Beautiful idea. And I've heard I'm sure you've seen this where people are like, my gosh, all I see are negative posts on social media. And I'm like, I don't see those. But when I do,
yeah,
they're gone, man. I see you post some negative crap, man. You're out. You don't get to be in my circle. Maybe that means nothing to you too. I don't care. It's my circle. I get to control it, man. Like, people need to get like, what's the saying? You can't have a positive life with a negative mindset. I think that's Grant Cardone, probably other people. By the way, if Grant's watching, happy birthday. Today's his birthday. He's dude's the youngest looking 62-year-old I've ever seen in my life, man. So
happy birthday, Grant.
Yeah,
man, that's awesome.
So look, man, I think that we've got to get a grip on the negativity and people that people that, like, they would complain if they hit the lottery. Like, they'd bitch if you hung them with a new rope. That's the old saying, right? But I mean, like, I've tried to help some of those people, and then you realize sometimes it's a what's the term? An exercise in futility. It's like they're not going to get it, man. So you just have to walk away. I think Jesus even said, shake the dust from your feet as you leave some of these places, man, because people just aren't going to get it. So, right? Do you agree?
100%. 100%. I mean, it's who said this? Was it Tony Robbins? I can't remember who said this one, but this really resonates with me. If you're walking forward, if you have forward momentum, if you're walking, running on a bicycle, or you're in a car, and you're literally steering at a concrete wall, you're going to hit the concrete wall if that's what you're staring at, right?
Yep.
And if you're staring at the horizon and the opportunity and this beautiful life that we have right now to live, forget about money. Yep. But let's think about our life, like being able to communicate our senses, to be able to sit down and actually reflect on our senses that we have. You know how incredible it is to smell, to taste, to communicate, to feel, like to touch, to hear. I mean, that's some pretty powerful stuff. And we have the opportunity to reflect on those things that we take advantage of, take for granted all the time. I mean, listen, if you're steering the wrong way right now, you have the opportunity to make a choice and change that. It's just the choice that you need to make to do that. And chances are the circle that's around you is going to dictate that direction after you make your choice, right? If you're still plugged into crap and you're steering towards a concrete wall because everybody else you're surrounded by is steering towards that wall.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to sit in Ken, I'm not sitting in any more passenger seats that are steering towards concrete walls.
No, that makes you as dumb as they are. And
I'm steering towards Ken walls.
Look, I used to teach this in sales training, and because sales, to be effective and good in sales, you have to have the right attitude. Like, you have to. And I used to teach that, like, look, NASCAR drivers are trained to, when they go into a spin, to force themselves, and it happens so fast, but they have to force themselves to look down the track, because if they're looking at the wall, you're 1,000% right. 99% of the time they crash if they're looking at the wall. And again, it's like, oh, that sounds woo woo and blah, blah, blah. Whatever, dude, then believe that and go crash your ass into a wall. I don't care. I choose to look down the track, yo. Like,
absolutely.
Like, come on, man. Like, so I agree, dude. You gotta focus on where you want to go. If you're focused on, hell and brimfire and this is the curse that God has given to the planet, and oh, we're all gonna die, and like, dude, stop, man. Click, you're blocked. Like, I'm not, like, it's just dumb, man. Just, you want a better life, have a better attitude.
110%. And it all starts with just one step forward. Like, just make that directional move, just one step forward. Like, right now from this video, you have the opportunity to go express gratitude to somebody right now. You have the opportunity to be able to reflect on yourself in the mirror and write down some things, maybe perhaps that you're plugged into, that you want to start adjusting, and you need to start speaking and asking some questions with people that truly care about you. Just fractionally, these sprint goals are so crucial rather than these big marathon goals. Like, if your goal is to be happy, that's pretty cool, right? Like, my goal is to be happy. What do I need in my soul to be able to feel happy? You know what I need? I need love. Lots of it.
Love, man. Love's an action word, bro. Like, people are like, it's not about, look, let me give you an example. And this is, let me get up on a pedestal for a minute, man. I gotta say this. I have a training platform, a course that I created, teaching people how to live stream, build an audience, use other forms of social media to get attention, build your brand and your business, and make a whole lot more money. And I've put it out there. I haven't pushed it hard. I honestly haven't. I have a webinar I'm creating that I'm gonna roll it out on a special deal. But look, I have people, and I know you do as well, that hit you up every day of your life on social media wanting you to go follow their page, like their page, go join their freaking group, go do this, go do that. Me. They want to know they want you to do something for them. And I can reflect and look at my numbers. I can look at my posts and go, that dude never has, not one time, liked one of my posts, never seen him share one of my live streams, never seen him on one of my live streams, never seen her do one positive thing for me, yet you want me to go like your stuff. I teach this in my course, by the way. And it's like, dude, if you want attention, you want people to help you, go help other people first. Dude, stop coming with your hand out all the time. Go help somebody else. Get the hell out of yourself. And I mean that, right? I don't think I'm wrong either. I am known as a
Amen.
giver on social media, and I give and give and give and give and give. And I share other people. Go look at my timeline. Go look at my, it's everybody else's stuff. You're going to see some of my stuff, but you're going to see a lot of other stuff from other people that I respect because they respect me, that I share because they share me. That's the way it works. And that's not just social media. That's life. That's life, man. You're going to get what you're putting out. So,
man, that is so powerful too. And I mean, the thing too is that the thought of giving should be the first thought.
Yeah.
Getting back, it should be the last thought. So if we programmed everybody on the face of this earth to give first before receiving, can you imagine what kind of world this would be? I mean, this would be a whole different place right now, right? Yeah, we can start right now. Like the time to start is now.
Yep.
That's like that hashtag right there is a long hashtag, but the time to start is now.
It is, man. Like people look, do some self-reflecting. I'm not judging anybody. I've been there, man. Well, I was blessed with becoming an alcoholic, and now I have 17 and a half years of recovery. But I was a raging, self-centered, selfish, all about me alcoholic for many, many years. And when I got sober, I'm like, they're like, hey, dude, if you want lifetime sobriety and you want a better life, you better learn how to get the hell out of yourself and help other people. And I was like, I do that, but then like, you self-reflect enough and you're like, okay, maybe I don't as much as I thought I did, So it's like, you got to get out of yourself, man. Like it's really that simple. It's not difficult to do. Nobody said, Judd, are you telling people, hey, mortgage your house and give somebody all the money? No. Oh man.
Absolutely. Absolutely not. What I'm saying certainly is exactly what you're saying, Ken, is that sending a message through Facebook to a teacher from elementary school that you find on Facebook, and expressing the gratitude for them investing their time into your life is gratitude. That feeds their soul. It feeds your soul. There's nothing dark that comes out of that. It's a positive with a bonus gain, which is an energy that gives you the opportunity to do it again. And once you start doing it once and you feel, Ken, I know exactly why you do what you do. You don't do these live streams for money. You do it because it makes you feel good.
It does. You give. It does, man. It does. That's why. It's having Weldon Whitehurst, who's a friend of mine and a buddy of mine and a client, and I think he meant to put intimate. I'm not
ultimate
with my wife, but no, like it's to know that I'm making a positive impact in the life of someone else, even if it starts as one person. I was telling, and look, I'm not. This again is not me bragging. My wife went the other day to pick up. We wanted some barbecue from this place locally. And so she ordered it and went and picked it up. And she gets back and I saw the receipt and I'm like, why was it so much? Like this better be some good barbecue. It was, significantly more than I had thought it should be. And she goes, oh, Weldon says, I love auto text. Yeah. But the, she said, oh, we have these neighbors that, they're in their late 70s. And she said, oh, I got some for the neighbors too. And I went over and set the bag on the porch and rang the doorbell and stepped way back out into the yard. And they came to the door and hey, I got you guys some dinner. And so, so it wasn't that much actually. After I'm like, oh, we bought for two families. So, but like it's doing those little tiny things to to express gratitude and love. This neighbor, he like this guy's 78 years old, and he literally is like the most incredible human being. Like he's always out in the yard. He mows our yard. He's like, oh, I'm like, I feel guilty, but like he does. He's like, no, I'm doing it. And I go out one day and he's up on the roof of my shed and fixing some shingles. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're 78. You're not supposed to be up there, you know?
Right.
Like, so that's love, man. That's just caring for your neighbor, caring for other people without expecting anything in return. Just give people some hope, man. Like you just said, this world is falling apart right now. People are freaking out. Help them.
Yeah. Help them. That's the bottom line. And you know, want to know something, Ken? I think here's the other thing is that when I reached out to you just before we hopped on here, you know, it was a feeling that I had that I had to do it. There was something drawing me to do it. And I would urge people that if you have this draw to do something, if there's a sense of magnetism with the energy, do it.
Yes.
Do it. Like reach out, because there was a need for this to happen where I needed to get this shared out and you needed to get this shared out. And we took the time to do it. And at the end of the day, you know, we're on for 41 minutes right now, and 41 minutes, the only thing I'm looking to do is give, because the three things that I do every day, as we started out with, when we first started here, is I need to make sure that my health is good.
Yeah.
One, I need to make sure that my family is healthy and well.
Yeah.
Without my health, I can't take care of them, right? So I got to make sure my health is good. I got to make sure their health is good. And then the third thing is giving.
Yeah.
And so this investment of this time in my life, I feel great right now. I'm going to get off this live when we hop off, and I'm ready to go give some more, right? I'm going to take my children to the beach. I'm going to go teach them some new things that I was not teaching them before, because I have this sense of being able to reflect on the past and be able to do something new with them. Because at the end of the day, when I'm leaving this life and I'm moving on to wherever I'm going, and hopefully another 100 years, but when I'm going, I want to be able to reflect and know that I gave this my best freaking shot that I possibly could have. Because I don't want to be that guy about to close my eyes and check out here.
Yep.
And I don't want to be remembered as the guy that didn't give his absolute all to the world. And that's precisely, you know, everybody's got to make ends meet. I get it. But also realize that there's a whole part of us that we're learning about right now in this time of our life right now.
Yeah.
That is a whole new giving thing that we need to give. So share this out, give some love. That's what you need to do.
You know, I want to use you as an example in what I'm getting ready to bring up. And that is, there's a lot of people right now, servers, chefs in restaurants, cooks, dishwashers, people that are on the front lines of the service industry, that are not working, which means they are not making money. I mean, some of these servers live night to night on the tips, right? And you're in Anguilla, which is like the tourism capital, right? So like the entire economy has stopped. It's come to a screeching halt there. And you know, so all of these people, and they're here too. There's servers here. There's, you know, you decided to sell your asphalt company. Asphalt, like that's like seriously hard work too, by the way. Like I've never done it. I've watched them do it and I've went, I am so glad I'm not doing that for a living, because that looks really hot, and not the good hot, but like hot, sweating, dripping sweat with black tar all over. I couldn't eat. So, you know, but you got out of that and you got into an e-commerce business. And so you literally, you reinvented yourself. You had to, if you wanted a different life. And so to the people who are scared and suffering and not making money right now, man, dig deep. dig deep. There's something you can do. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, and I've said this. I agree wholeheartedly with that. The thing that I'll say is this: right now, if see our business took a big turn. I own several companies. I own a total of I own over a dozen different companies right now. Right.
Yeah.
A bunch on island here that are shut down. Literally, tourism season basically ended here. All the hotels are closed.
Wow.
Ports closed. We don't know how long it's going to last, but people canceling Airbnb reservations, hotel reservations, car rental reservations. The domino effect has taken place, and what we're trying to do is really just help people to feel the love and the will to explore new things and work on themselves and perhaps reinvent themselves. Maybe start an online business, or do something that is productive. Maybe read a book, read an ebook, learn the art of asking, like learn different things that can help build you as a human. And so that's really kind of where we're going in that regard right now, is during this unemployment stage that we're dealing with, how do we best deal with that challenge at hand? And it's really coming down to, again, the same things that I keep saying: health, psychological and physical. And then you have your family, and then you have the gift of giving. And usually if you focus on those three things, you'll be steered in the right direction, and reinventing yourself might come from that. Right. So it's just, you got to stay plugged into the right things and keep pushing that forward. But I said, right now you could take all the money away right now, all of it. Like, I don't need the money right now whatsoever. Take it all away.
Yep.
And what I would do is I would drive down to the beach, and I would climb a coconut tree, and I would pick some green coconuts off that tree, and I would take a DeWalt drill or a drill, and I'd drill a hole in it, and I'd empty the coconut water into some biodegradable little cartons, and I'd take a permanent marker or Sharpie, and I'd type in life water, or write life water on it, and I'd put them in a box, and I'd try to get a few dozen of those, so I'd have life water. And then that coconut, I'd cut it in half, not just in half, but like totally in half, right in half. And I would scrape out all the coconut meat, and I would dry that coconut meat, and I'd put it in little biodegradable bags, right? And those biodegradable bags, I'd write life food on the side of it. And then with those coconut halves, I would go ahead and, smoothen them out, sand them, and then I'd get a local artist to, paint on the outside of that half bowl, and I'd create the coconut life bowls, right?
Yeah.
And then I'd drive down or I'd walk down the road, forget the car. I don't need the car either, but I'll walk to one of the intersections, not just any intersection, but a busy intersection where a lot of people are hanging out, because as we go over this hump, there's going to be people hanging out. And so I would go there, and I'd set up a little coconut life hut, and I would sell the life water, the coconut life water, and I'd sell the coconut dried meat, and I would go ahead and sell those bowls, and I'd watch people eat the coconut meat out of the bowls. And then I might take a boat over to St. Martin and franchise there. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be doing that, but you could do, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of starting over.
Right.
You have to feed your soul with the necessary things that you need to have a toolbox filled with opportunity ahead of you. And now is the time to read the books. Now is the time to reinvent your circles if the circle's not right around you. It's time to ask. It's time to get the blood flowing through your brain through physical activity. It's time now, people. Like, it's time now.
Yep. Absolutely, dude. I love that. Look, when I was a kid, I mean, I was raised in a fairly poor family. We didn't have some of my friends at school were wearing, now this will really date me. But Jordache jeans were the thing. And, and I had to, if I wanted anything better than Wrangler jeans or whatever generic jeans my mom could afford, I had to go make my own money, man. And so I went out and I knocked on doors. I did everything that I had to do to sell. Hey, let me cut your yard, and I'll do it for, cheaper than somebody else starting out or whatever, in the winter. shovel the snow. You guys probably get a lot of snow in Anguilla, right?
Sandy snow. Yeah.
By the way, my buddy Joe Ingram is on here. He says hello from the loony bin. He's out in California.
Yeah, my uncle is head of cardiology over at Stanford. There, he's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So I think that Joe, what are Jordash? That's definitely not how you spell it. But anyway, so look, man, life's about choices. And, I started my business doing website development many years ago. And, I mean, I literally had nothing. I had nothing. And I knew that I did not want to go back to work for another company and have my fate in their hands. And so what did I do? I had $20, man, that somebody loaned me. I was broke. I mean, like broke. I had to borrow $20. And I went out that day and knocked on doors, and until I came in, found somebody that said yes, and I mean, I only made $300 that day out of $600. I'm going to help this guy with his website. He said, give me $600. He gives me 300 down to get started. And I'm like, like that, but $300 when you're broke is like 3 million, right? It's like, wow, I just got rich. And so
groceries.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do and be ethical and help people. I could have been arrogant and said, I'm not doing that for $600, dude. I charge $3,000. You either pay, well, then get the hell out of here, man. Like, you got to do what you got to do. You have to do what you have to do. If you want to survive this and you want to thrive in this, then adjust your thinking. You got to look at maybe you got to go climb a palm tree or a coconut tree and get some coconuts and do what Judd just said. But whatever it is, you got to, like, what are you going to do? Like, is giving up really an option? It's not. Like, the hunger in your gut will eventually make you do what you have to do.
You're either a loser or you're a winner.
Yes.
And I'll tell you this. I started with a 5-gallon pail of asphalt driveway sealer that I bought from a local hardware store and a paint roller. That was $17. So we come from a very similar place.
Wow.
And I took that bucket of sealer and a paint roller, and I walked up to a residential home that was a perfect demonstration job, like a perfect demo job, because the driveway was gray and some cracks, and it was about 600 square feet. And I walked up to the door and I said, hi, my name's Judd, and I would love the opportunity to seal coat your driveway and be able to protect it from the elements, the sun, the salt, the rain. I'd like to make it nice, black and rich, and enhance the aesthetic value of your property. And then what I'd like to do is give you 50% off what I'm usually going to charge. I'll do it for $120 instead of the $240, because I really want to use your driveway as a demo job for all the other neighbors on the street. And is it okay if I get this job done, and then maybe you could call a few of your neighbors to talk about a young, hardworking guy that's willing to do their driveway at the same 50% discount because they're a referral. I did 6 driveways. I did 6 driveways that day. The bottom line is I didn't have enough money to buy the sealer for all 6 driveways, but I had enough money to get that one done. And with the return on that, I was able to buy enough sealer for all 6 driveways. And I walked away with $700 that day. The point is, it started with something in my head that I took action on. I didn't leave it to be mush or a little soup in a pot. I literally took action, thought, action, reaction, right? And so that's how it started. Now today, I created asphaltkingdom.com, where we actually have helped thousands of people start their very own asphalt maintenance companies. And we teach and train people how to do that. So imagine that started. I now help thousands of people start their own asphalt maintenance businesses because I took that action to go and buy a bucket of sealer to get enough money to be able to grow and scale it. And I chose not to stop. And I'm not stopping. I've got a lot of people to help, a lot of work to do, not only in the asphalt world, but emotionally, spiritually. I want people to feel invincible. But it needs, in order to feel that way, you have to make the choices now to push towards that.
That's awesome, dude. My wife's on here. She thinks it's awesome. I love what Ron Goodwin says. Coconuts don't grow in Boston, but opportunities grow everywhere. You know, I think I was thinking about this last night. I was on with Glenn Morshower from the show 24, and what a great dude, man. I love this guy. He called me on my cell phone. Like, I'm like, oh, Glenn Morshower's calling me. Hang on. I'm like,
awesome.
Hello, Glenn. And he's like, hey, let's do a live stream. And so, you know, I was sitting there thinking, this world, and I was going to say America, it's not just America, it's everywhere, has gotten, what's the saying, fat on the hog. Like there are so many people on a huge scale that have made a ridiculous amount of money with very little effort. And I think, and again, I'm not, it's not a judgment. I've been able to do that myself. Right. But not starting out. And, you know, with you, my question is like, dude, how easy was it to go out there and do those driveways that day? High on the hog, high on the hog. Thank you, Joe. Living high on the hog. So how easy it wasn't easy, was it?
The decision was the easiest part of it.
Right.
The decision was easy.
Yeah.
The decision instigated the decision to put my right foot forward, to get into the car, to start the car, to drive that car to the hardware store, to get out of the car, to walk in and look for the best quality 5-gallon pail of sealer and paint roller, and essentially then take action to put my last pennies into buying the stuff, driving to a neighborhood, not letting fear overwhelm me and prevent me from walking up that driveway to a complete stranger that I didn't know.
Right.
And then to introduce myself confidently enough to be able to close that deal and show that I was willing to do anything it took to make sure that driveway looked the best it could ever look, and protecting it. And you know what? The client, after I was done, I told him, I said, you're the very first job that I've done here on my very own. And this is my very first business that I'm starting. I'm 18 years old.
Wow.
And you have provided, I was living alone. I'd moved out of the family home and so on. And he provided me with the opportunity to be able to build confidence and self-esteem to be able to knock on more doors. And now today, I knock on as many doors as I possibly can with the confidence that I can deliver value every time I knock. And that is a really powerful thing. The first time you do something, it's a little scary, but the second time you do it, it's a little less scary. And you just keep going, keep that momentum going, and don't stop. If you believe that that is your journey, your mission to create something better for yourself, chase it.
Well, and listen, man, like, you made $700 that day. And where did the idea to do that come from? Did you just like go, man, I've seen a lot of crappy driveways. I think I want to go fix them all.
So I was doing some sales, actually, door-to-door sales for Grizzly Super Sealant, an asphalt seal coating company. And then things moved apart from that, and I needed to figure out how to do this on my own. They didn't tell me where to buy the equipment or the supplies. So the only thing I knew, I didn't have a spray system or anything. So I just had to pop in my car and go to the hardware store and do this, right? Yeah. And so the idea came from that. You see, I was an integration aide working with autistic children, integrating them into the primary schools up in Canada.
Wow.
At the age of 17, just after high school. and went through that for 1 year, and then wanted to do something different other than that. As I hit the summer vacation, I didn't want to be unemployed. I didn't want to sit still. I have a tremendous level of ADHD. I can't stop. I could sit here and talk for 59 hours right now straight, right? But
until my bladder explodes. Whichever comes first.
You got a coconut tree behind you. Just don't pee on the one that I need to climb up to go get coconuts. But I think that's really it, Ken, is that we've gone through this journey from the time we're born till here we are, and we have the opportunity to really push forward. Yes, you have children, you have responsibilities, you've got this kind of thing over here, this kind of thing over there. At the end of the day, if you choose not to chase something that is something you believe you need to chase because of that, it means you have shackles attached to your ankles that are going to prevent you from getting to where you need to get to feel wholesome in your soul. And yeah, man. Yeah.
It's time to get creative. People need to step out into their creativity, and, like you did, man, like I did, you got it. I realize that you can't go out and you cannot go out and knock on doors right now. Probably, it's probably not the best time to do that. But there's other things you can do. You just have to get creative. If you want to sell over the phone, call me. I'll hire you. If you want to sell over the phone, give me a buzz. I will train you, and I'll pay you an unbelievable commission only. If you're not willing to work for commission only, don't call me and continue to suffer, because I don't give a rat's rear end what it is in life. I have a lot of friends who are, doctors and physicians and in a variety of industries. And people are like, well, they're doctors. Of course they make good money. They make good money because they started their own businesses and went out and earned their way, man. Nobody paid them a freaking salary. Like, this mindset, this mentality, especially in the United States, of you have to have a salary base, you have to go to college. I dropped out of freaking high school, okay? So you have to go to college, you have to have a degree, you have to get a cushy, nice salary. Dude, those days might be over, okay? And if they continue, it's going to be for people who really are willing to bust their asses and learn how to really make it and earn income for the company that they're representing. You've got to get it's a mindset shift that has to occur. And somebody said it earlier on here. I don't know who it was. The playing field is being leveled right now. It's being leveled. It truly is being leveled. And I'm personally, I am absolutely, my wife says, wish we could see outside there, have never seen his island. Yeah, dude. Why aren't you on the beach doing this? What the heck?
I can go walk out on the front deck. You want to see it?
Do you have your Wi-Fi will reach?
Yeah, Wi-Fi will reach. I just have to unplug the headset here, and I can take you out on the deck. But
let's go, man. Yeah.
So while I'm on the way,
hold out.
You hear me now?
Oh yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's definitely a different sound.
All right, so I'm in my son's room, my 5-year-old son's room right now. But let's walk on out here. You might hear the children, but so there's a bit of the crib here.
Oh, dude, that's nice, man. Holy crap. Look, Joe said what I said earlier. The guy indoors has an island background. The island guy has a white wall.
So you might be able to see there.
Here, let me go full screen for you. Look at that. Wow. What's the temperature right now in Fahrenheit?
It's actually really gray out here right now. It's a little rainy, but we're 82, I guess, right now. You can see.
Wow.
It's hard to see, but then we've got we've got the pool and the deck down here and all that stuff.
Oh my gosh. Is that your house?
Yeah, brother.
Hold on,
Worked hard, man.
go back over there. I want to see that pool again, dude. Are you seriously kidding me? That's your house?
Yeah, man, we've got it. I worked hard, man. It started with a bucket of sealer and a paint roller, brother.
I love it. I freaking love it.
Yeah,
absolutely so awesome, dude.
That's the west wing over there, and then I'm over in the east wing over here, and got it's a little messy in the house, but we got the gym over here, and yeah, man.
That's so awesome, dude.
So you know what I was gonna say was,
where's my room?
Oh, brother, you can come anytime. We've got a few properties down here. You just come down anytime. But you know, I was gonna say something about what you just said right before we popped out there, and it was this. It's
look what Joe just said. That's a compound, not a house. That's true.
So you know, one of the things I was gonna say was this, is that in Anguilla and all over the world, one of the things that is a big issue is that it's generally our family that ends up holding us back, and they hold us back not intentionally, but because of safety. They want us always safe and secure, and so they tell you to go to school forever, even though you're failing through school or whatever. It's not cut out for you. If school's cut out for you and you really want to do it, do it. But if you really are having a challenge and it sucks, do something different. I mean, your life is ticking away. And so, you know, a lot of families here end up in a situation where, and all over the world, where it's go get a hotel job, become a cleaning person, just work as a restaurant, you know, server, and do this and do that, become a construction worker, a laborer, and just have enough money to get by. And at the end of the day, how are you going to truly be able to retire on that kind of financial gain? I mean, listen, if you want to do that, great. If that's your calling, do it. But if you feel like you need to chase something more, kind of like what I did when I was in the asphalt business, the service business, chasing something more. Yeah. To when I sold the company and then did something new, reinventing and building towards e-commerce, and then helping thousands of people start their own asphalt maintenance businesses. If your calling is to do something more, chase that, you know, and so don't just get comfortable. Don't just get comfortable with what people are telling you need to do. This is not their life. This is your life, and your life is an incredibly powerful opportunity, and you have to do something more if you want more. Right. And Glenn's on here right now. Glenn works with us. He's a salesperson with our company. He's not just a salesperson. He is team. He is family. He's part of a core team that allows us to do what we do. And I bet you Glenn will comment on here pretty quickly. Glenn, tell everybody about how we feel at our team at Asphalt Kingdom. And, you know, at the end of the day, Ken, here's what if I had one wish for for all of us as humans, the one wish that I have is that you would just start to realize how important love is, and whatever the definition of love is to you, just make sure that love is the care for giving. It's the care for feeling wholesome inside of your soul, to truly know that you're impacting the world and the people around you positively. Like, that's the one wish I have for this world, man. So share that, share that. Yeah, man.
I love that, man. From a guy that went to the hardware store and bought a paint roller and a bucket of freaking sealer, driveway sealer. You've gone from that to living in a compound. Like, that place is gorgeous that you're living in. On the island of Anguilla.
Like, I'd give it all away in a flash, bro. I'd give it all away in a flash. Like honestly, if it was all taken away from me right now at school, I've earned what I have right now. But at the end of the day, you know, who knows what happens if Google crashed tomorrow and I had no more, if traffic cut off to our businesses and so on, then I'd be in a situation where we couldn't have this, right? Yeah. And AK is the most awesome place if you're looking at positivity. We're all sharing, man. Glenn's over in the Philippines dealing with a ton of stuff over there right now.
Oh, wow.
Glenn sent me pictures yesterday Glenn sent me pictures yesterday night of his daughter and him packing relief bags for people that he's paying it forward to.
Wow.
He sent me photos of that, of him paying it forward to his, the people over there that are in need. And Glenn, you want to know something, brother? You're here with us forever, because as long as you keep giving like that and you keep shedding, we'll be plugged in together. For people who aren't plugged into the love, to the positivity, to the energy, learn how to do that, because otherwise people like us are not going to be connected to you.
Wow, dude. And I want to say this about you, because I don't care what anybody says. The heartbeat of a company or an organization, the energy starts at the top, and it trickles down. And you are like, dude, you're a beast, man. And I mean that in a positive way. You have so much. I mean, you reached out to me random as hell. And like, we don't talk that much. We do on, you'll jump on lives, or I'll be on, but like, we don't talk. And you just sent me a random message this morning on Messenger. You don't need me in your world but yet ironically you do, right? Because we all need each other.
Absolutely do.
Right. But you don't, like, you woke up this morning, or at some point you're like, I got to tell Ken thank you. And you reached out and you said, dude, I just wanted to say thank you for all the positivity you continue to spread every day and everything that you're doing. And I was like, wow. And my first thought was, all right, what's this guy want? No, it wasn't. No, it was just a random act of kindness that you just wanted to say thank you. And that is what this world needs. That's what we need right there. Let people know that you're watching. Let people know that say thank you to people for the good stuff that they're doing. And if they're doing bad stuff and they're bringing you down, you just said this earlier, I'm going to reiterate it. And that is, get them out of your freaking life, family or not. I'm sorry, but like the people that say they love you, that are family, sometimes, Judd, they don't want you to do better than they're doing. Sometimes they really don't. And it's not even a conscious thing. They unconsciously, subconsciously, they don't want you to win more than they are. And it sucks, but it's the way it is.
It is the reality, right? The reality is that there are people that just don't know how to help you spread your wings and fly. There's no better feeling, Ken, man, there's no better feeling. And I know, when you have the wind coming in your face and you're staring into this the elements that we're surrounded by, and you're outside feeling that, and you're seeing the sun and the environment around you, and you put your arms out and you feel truly as though you're like empowered to fly.
Yeah.
Take some deep breaths, get rid of the knot in your chest, in your right by your sternum, get rid of that stress, take some deep breaths and spread your wings and fly. Like, when you get off this live, for anybody watching this, go outside, like right on your deck, on your doorstep, take some breaths and look around you and realize the gift of life that we have. Like, sorry to get so like spiritual and that stuff, but it's like,
totally agree. Don't apologize for that. That's good shit, dude. Feel it.
Feel it, man. Feel it. And like my wife and I have this calling as well, which I talked to you a little bit about earlier, which is really fun. So we've decided we're going to start our own podcast.
That's awesome.
I have no idea how to do it yet, but we're going to figure it out. I have to take the action, just like I did with the bucket of sealer, right? Like, yeah. I've got to Google how to start my very first podcast.
You don't have to Google it, dude. I have a course on it, but I'll help you, dude. You don't need to Google it. So look,
great. I can't wait for that. So yeah.
So like, and that's what I'm talking about. You're taking action to put positivity and love into the world, man. People need to be doing that. They need to be doing it. And here's the thing. And I've been through this. I've been through this already. So I'm speaking from experience. You're in a place right now where maybe you are terrified. And what happens is, when you're terrified and you're living in fear and you don't have enough money, or you're worried that you don't have enough money to eat or feed your kids or feed or pay the rent or whatever it is, you start doing dumb things and you get very self-centered. And then you stay self-centered as long as you decide to stay self-centered. And if you continue staying self-centered and focused on your problems, then everything's going to collapse. But eventually, at some point, you have to make a decision to get out of yourself and help other people. At some point, you'll have to do that. I'm not speaking in woo-woo weird, this is reality, man. And the sooner you get out of yourself and begin helping other people and spreading love and really putting out good stuff to the world, the sooner you do that, the faster your life will turn around. I don't care where you are. You'll have a sudden idea one day. Could be tomorrow, could be 2 days from now, could be 2 weeks from now, but you're going to have an idea that's like, oh God, all I have to do is go buy a roller brush and a bucket of driveway sealer and I can change the world and move to Anguilla. I'm in. Right?
I never knew it was going to happen, but certainly I knew what was going to happen was I was buying that bucket and going to go and turn that bucket into $120.
That's freaking awesome, man. That's so awesome.
Sprint goals. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you,
Sherry. Sherry's amazing. She's a dear friend of mine. Sherry has died twice and been on the other side, so she knows. She knows what's going on. And that woman right there is all about spreading love. She was sent back here. She was sent back to her earthly existence to spread love.
That strikes home with me too, man. Like I feel joyous today too, Sherry. Like really, really joyous. And
you guys need to you connect with her.
I want to connect and I want to connect too, because when Theo, we have our third son, so we have Justin, who's 20, and then a 5-year-old, and we've got a 2-year-old. And so Theo, when he was born in St. Martin, he had full respiratory and cardiovascular failure in St. Martin, and he was gone for 7 minutes. So the doctors told us to hold this baby that was dead and gray in color, no heart rate, like me, flatlined. And my wife and I were not going to hold our child that was passed. And so we went out of the room into the morning room, and we were both broken on the floor. My wife was just destroyed. This hasn't been shared with a lot of people, so I'm sharing it right now for some reason, because I think people need to hear this.
Wow.
But I mean, we were on the floor broken, and I'm holding my wife and realizing that our lives are going to be different forever. Very, very different. And after about 10 minutes, I left the room and went back into the room and prenatal care, like the ICU. And I walked in that room. And when I walked in the room to find out what to do with the body, the doctor looked at me and said, "It's a miracle. He came back to life." And,
oh my God.
And he came back to life and was laying there, tubes all over, eyes shut, bleeding out of the nose from all the intubations and everything. And the jet arrived from Bucaramanga, Colombia, with 4 medical doctors, and they arrived with the pod basically, and they grabbed Theo in St. Martin, and they transported him with my wife. I couldn't get on the jet. There wasn't enough space. So medical evacuation to Bucaramanga, Colombia.
Wow.
By the way, huge shout out to the Colombian medicals, all the doctors there at the Fundación Cardiovascular of Colombia, just absolute angels. But I had to fly there the next day, 18 hours of delays in travel. Finally getting there, my wife said, "It's a miracle. He's recovering." And we spent 3 weeks there on the road to recovery. And Theo's downstairs on the couch right now with his 5-year-old brother, blonde, beautiful boy. We didn't know if he'd have brain issues and so on. He's just he's here to deliver some messages. And So everybody reflect on that a little bit right now, right? I know everybody probably has a story.
Wow.
You know, we're dealing with a pandemic, we're dealing with a recession. Come on. I would have gone through a recession 100-fold just to have that boy in my arms at night, to know that this child has a life to live. So, I mean, I'll just say
Wow.
this, you know, reflect on the things that we've gone through in our life, the emotional footprints. And I'm just so blessed and grateful to be able to talk about this story being that happy ending in that case. And I know there's been a lot of unhappy endings, but reflect on this story and allow it to give you hope in things will get better. Things will get better, but it's really up to you to gain perspective and make the decisions to improve what's better to you and your family and your loved ones right now, you know. Wow, dude.
That might be one of the most powerful stories I've ever heard. That's amazing. I'm making this a podcast. This is officially a Breakthrough Walls podcast, by the way.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Well, let's share it out, brother. Let's get people on this level. Like, share this out. Everybody watching this, share this kind of stuff out. This is all positive, good stuff that people need to hear about, you know, perspective, man.
Wow, dude, wow. This is the first time I think you and I have connected on this level, man. And I'm blown away.
Well, the cool thing about this, like I know, is I will protect the relationship. I will be grateful to you. And I expect the same thing back, because that's what reciprocal respect and love is, man. That's right. The way it's a two-way street. So I look forward to the rest of my life and being able to communicate with you and help, you know, feel great on both sides. Yeah. What's better than that, right?
Dude, you rock, man. I've got a new place in my heart for you, dude. You're amazing. So thank you. Hey, thanks for hitting me up. And we just said, let's go live. Like literally 15 minutes later, we were live. It's incredible.
I was working on financials for our company, actually, and I just thought of you, literally out of the blue, and I just said, I'm going to send a message, man, because I'm thankful. I was at the grocery store yesterday, watching you guys online, and I did a little shout out to you. I said, hey, Ken, what's up? What's going on? And at the end of the day, that's what it is. To reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out to people. Create love. Let's do it.
That's it. Judd, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Love you. You're amazing.
Love you too, man.
Love what you're doing for the world, and I'm here to support you in any possible way. So, where's the best place to follow you, by the way?
You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. Those two places. LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as well. Okay. And we're about to launch a pretty fun little Island Life podcast. So that's going to be fun with the wife.
And there's some other stuff that you and our buddy Brian Hess are doing, and you guys have asked me to participate in it, and I'm grateful for that. And it's gonna be cool. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow this guy. Follow him, even if he doesn't have room on his friends list. You can still follow his stuff. So follow Judd, and dude, you rock, man.
Portal of positivity, brother. Portal of positivity.
I know, man. I love it. So, all right. Hey, we're going to end this. You guys have an awesome day. Go make somebody else's day amazing, and yours will automatically become amazing. I promise you. See you guys later. Thanks, Judd.
Thank you, Ken.